A lot of you clearly wanted to see what small town living in Southeast Tennessee actually looks like because this video right here, it really took off. And what that told me wasn't just that people like lists. It told me that a lot of you are seriously thinking about what life looks like on the outside of bigger cities. Not just visiting, not just passing through, but actually living somewhere quieter, slower, and a little more grounded. So today, I want to slow things down just a little bit and take a deeper look at my personal favorite from that list, Sweetwater. Now, Sweetwater isn't one of those towns that's trying to reinvent itself every few years. It's not chasing trends or trying to become something that it's not. It's a place that people choose because they want things to feel steadier, a little less demanding, and more livable. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through what daily life in Sweetwater actually feels like and how people work, commute from here, and what the housing and land options look like. And just as importantly, who Sweetwater tends to be a great fit for and who it usually isn't. By the end, you should have a pretty clear sense of whether Sweetwater belongs on your short list or whether another town in Southeast Tennessee might make more sense for you. I'm Chris Roberts, your Southeast Tennessee relocation realtor, and I help people from all over the country make the move to Chattanooga, Cleveland, and towns all over Southeast Tennessee. So if you're considering a move to Tennessee, be sure to check out my free relocation guide that's linked in the description below. And if you're ready to talk right now, my number is going to be right here on the screen in front of you. Now, one of the first things that people notice when they spend time in Sweetwater is the pace of life. Like I said before, it's not slow in a stagnant way, and it's very much not rushed in a stressful way either. It's just happy and manageable. Daily errands, they don't feel like a logistical puzzle. You're not planning around traffic windows or worrying about whether a quick stop is going to turn into a 30-minute ordeal because of some ongoing construction project. You can run out for groceries, grab lunch, swing by the post office, and still feel like you've got time left in your day. I know that sometimes when I'm out and about in the city, it'll be 2 p.m. before I even know it. Now, for people relocating from busier metro areas, this often ends up being one of the biggest quality of life upgrades that they did not expect. Life here doesn't demand your attention every second, though the natural surroundings will continue to draw you in every spare minute that you've got. And over time, that steady rhythm starts to shape how people experience everything else about the town. Sweetwater also has something that not every small town manages to hold on to: a historic downtown that actually functions as a gathering place. This isn't just a stretch of buildings that you drive through once and forget about. It's a place where people intentionally go even when they don't have a specific plan. Downtown Sweetwater, it feels active without feeling busy. There's tons of locally owned shops, small restaurants, and storefronts that feel personal rather than polished. There are gorgeous murals painted on the sides of buildings, music playing at the gazebo, and this super fun duck park where you can just go hang out and watch the ducks play around in the water. And Sweetwater also hosts a really great Pride Festival right there at that duck park every summer. And you've got places like Noble Curiosities and Town's Toffee and Chocolate that aren't just businesses. They're staples in the community and signs that people care about this area and want it to feel welcoming. When Megan and I come up here to eat, one of the things that we always notice is that the places that are good tend to stay busy. One of our favorites is the Lazy Beagle. It's always consistently supported by the community, and that is an important signal if you're considering a move. It tells you that this isn't a town that people abandon on the weekends for a bigger city. People show up here. They spend time here. They support what's local, and that gives Sweetwater a sense of cohesion that a lot of small towns struggle to maintain. So, work is one of the biggest questions that people have when they're considering Sweetwater, and it's an important one to tackle. Sweetwater itself supports a local economy made up of small businesses, schools, healthcare providers, trades, and service based work. That's the everyday backbone of the town. But many residents, they also commute, and that's where Sweetwater's location really works in its favor. A very common commute from Sweetwater is just south to Athens. Athens sits along the I-75 corridor and is home to major manufacturing and industrial employers, including Denso, which is one of the largest manufacturing plants in the region. You'll also have Star Regional Medical Center, which is where my wife works PRN, and the area favorite, Mayfield Dairy. That manufacturing corridor supports a wide range of jobs like production roles, skilled trades, engineering and maintenance, logistics, supply chain management positions, all tied to automotive and industrial manufacturing. And because Sweetwater sits right off I-75, these commutes, they tend to be pretty straightforward. You're not navigating dense city traffic, and rush hour, it looks very different here than it does in major metros. And speaking of major metros, you'll be just 45 miles from Knoxville here with access to everything that that city has to offer right at your fingertips. The drive is predictable, and for a lot of people, that consistency makes commuting feel manageable rather than draining. Sweetwater also works especially well for people who don't need to be in a downtown office every single day. Manufacturing schedules, hybrid roles, and remote work pair well with life here. For many households, Sweetwater becomes the place where life happens, even if work happens a little ways down the road. Another practical piece people ask about is access to everyday services like healthcare. Now, Sweetwater has a great larger medical facility and smaller medical clinics that handle routine care, but many residents also utilize larger healthcare systems in surrounding cities like Knoxville and Cleveland when they need it. That's going to be fairly common in this part of Tennessee. You live in a smaller town, but you're still within a reasonable drive of more comprehensive services. If you're someone who doesn't need access to everything that the world offers right at your fingertips in town, this could be the place for you. Sweetwater generally checks that box without feeling isolated. Now, when it comes to real estate, Sweetwater tends to attract a few different types of buyers. Some people want to live closer to town, near downtown, shops, and everyday conveniences. Others, they're going to prefer to be just outside of town where land, space, and privacy become part of that lifestyle. Compared to larger nearby cities, the home and land prices here often feel much more approachable, especially for people moving from out of state. The median sales price from the River County's MLS for 2025 was just $268,000. Compare that to Cleveland, which was around $315,000, and Athens was sitting right around $280,000. Sweetwater might start sounding really appealing to you. But price alone isn't what keeps people happy long term. What really matters is alignment. Now, Sweetwater's not trying to be just a scaled down city. It's not focused on constant new development or rapid change. People who are happiest here tend to value space, simplicity, and just a slower rhythm of life. They're comfortable trading that nightlife and novelty for quieter things like easier mornings and room to breathe. Where people sometimes misjudge Sweetwater is expecting it to feel suburban in the traditional sense, and it's not that. Once people understand that distinction, the value proposition usually clicks right into place. Plus, they've got a great YouTube channel where they'll upload monthly meetings, cool videos of different celebrations in the cities, and more. Okay, so Sweetwater has long been more of a working town than anything. Its history is tied to industry, rail, and practicality, and that background still shows up today in how the town feels. It was an important transportation hub during the Civil War, and who had control of the area mattered because of that. Now, Sweetwater is a place that's built around people living full-time, everyday lives, not seasonal tourism or second homes. That history helps to explain why Sweetwater feels grounded and familiar rather than flashy and experimental. For a lot of people, that sense of continuity is really comforting. When it comes to weekends, Sweetwater offers just enough to stay engaged without feeling overwhelming. One of the most well-known attractions here is the Lost Sea, which draws visitors from all over but also reminds locals that there's something genuinely unique right here in their backyard. And this has been one of the coolest attractions that Megan and I go to. I mean, it's the largest underground lake in the whole country, and they stock it with rainbow trout. Plus, there's this really cool council room, which is this huge space that was used by the Cherokee for important council meetings. And just as a heads up before you go, they do shut the lights off down there at one point during the tour, making it the absolute darkest place that you could ever imagine. I think it's crazy cool. Perfect for this guy who loves haunted houses. And plus, you've got the extraordinary Solid Notch Vineyards right next door in Madisonville with absolutely breathtaking views of the Appalachia. Beyond that, weekends tend to revolve around simple routines, grabbing a meal downtown, meeting friends without planning weeks ahead, spending time outdoors, running errands without feeling rushed. Life here isn't about escaping the town every weekend. It's about enjoying where you are and That's a really big reason that people stay. Sweetwater would be a great fit for you if you want a quieter pace of life and a strong sense of place. It works especially well for those who value space, predictability, and community over constant stimulation. It also fits people who are comfortable commuting, working remotely, or structuring their lives so that home and work don't compete for that attention every day. For many people, Sweetwater feels like a place where life settles instead of accelerates. Now, Sweetwater may not be the best fit for you if you're looking for nonstop nightlife, rapid development, or a fast moving social scene. And in all honesty, none of the towns in Southeast Tennessee are really going to offer that. So, if you need constant novelty or want to feel like something new is happening every single weekend, this may feel a bit too quiet over time. And that's not a criticism, it's just how it's going to fit. Sweetwater works best when it matches the season of life that you're in. And if you're looking for land up this way too, I don't know, build a family compound, then be sure to check this video out right here. And if you're still narrowing down your list, this is exactly the kind of decision that's worth taking a little extra time to get right. So if that's you, feel free to reach out. My number is on the screen in front of you, and you can always schedule a call with me in the link below to talk about living your best life in Southeast Tennessee.